What's up, everybody? I'm here with Micah. Micah, say hi.
What's up, y'all?
So Micah is my 19-year-old apprentice. I'm surrounded by young guns. My son Garrison's recording. Garrison, say yo.
Yo.
So Micah started working with me a month ago? 3 weeks ago.
Yeah, like 3 weeks.
We're in our RV right now. We're on working at one of our RV park that I own. And Micah's first day on the job, we had the sheriffs involved.
Still haven't made a video about that.
With
we have a few clips of it, but
we had an unfortunate situation with the grounds manager, but that's not the point of this video. The point of this video is today we're talking about Micah's an apprentice in training. He's a very low paid apprentice in training. He's 19 years old and he's very committed and eager to learn about real estate investing, creating wealth, and just creating an amazing financial future and just a life. And so we work, we drive, he's by my side, we have a lot of conversations. So the conversation today was something about, we were talking about differences between doing rental properties versus owner financing and flipping, all this kind of stuff. And then you made a statement along the lines of what?
yeah. So earlier today we were talking about rental properties, and he talks about how owner financing is better than rental properties. And so we were just talking about owner financing versus rental properties. And he was saying if he could go back to being young, he would start by building owner finance deals and building them up. And I'm like, the issue with that is that if you start doing owner finance deals young or even at any age, you don't have right now money. That's long-term money. You might get a few $100s cash flow, but you're not getting that money that you can survive on, and you're not building that right now well.
So that was the general conversation. And it's not that owner finance are better. I said it's a different vehicle depending on what your goals are. For me, I prefer the vehicle of owner finance over rentals. I prefer to work with owners more so than renters. I prefer scalability of owner finance notes versus the headaches and the issues that come with rentals. So different conversation for a different day. But then what it led us to is the conversation of what I call, there's 3 buckets of real estate, and you typically, until you reach probably later stage in life or just success, start with bucket A, and the first bucket is your active income, and it's your bucket that pays your bills. So this is active. You got to spend time. A lot of people, this is a job. And I think you mentioned something, well, I could get a job. You had a couple small businesses, like, I could get a job. And that's what a lot of people do to fill their A bucket. And let me just tell you, the A bucket is your active income. Your B bucket is passive income or recurring income with less effort. There's typically some effort there. And then your C bucket is wealth buckets. You've got A, B, and C. But you have to fill the A bucket somehow, some way to pay your bills, right? Yeah. And that's how you fill that. And some people would choose a job. A lot of people that come to me like for coaching or consulting, they typically are making okay money, and some are really good money, and some are barely squeaking by, but it's a job. And typically what I find is people do not like their job. Most people are not happy in their jobs, and I hated my job, so I get it. It's kind of when something's mundane and over routine, monotonous, people just, it burns your heart out.
Complacency.
So what I say is, like, to people is like, hey, if you've got to fill up this A bucket, why not do it? Number one, if you can find something you actually enjoy, that would be great, and make money to pay your bills. And number two, if it's something that's synergistic with filling up the other buckets. A lot of people, that's real estate. So you could get your real estate license. You can start a company too in this A bucket and be a small business owner. So I started the first business I started after doing real estate was a construction company, because I really enjoyed managing construction. So I could make more money, a lot more money than this, and pay my bills and still do real estate. So that worked out really well. So there's a lot of things you could do to fill up that A bucket with a business, with doing something in the real estate field. But you fill up the A bucket with your active income. As soon as that you can do that, and you can get that bucket to overflow, even if the bucket's not overflowing, you can still creatively start filling up bucket B, which is passive income, owner finance notes, rental properties, Airbnb. What are some other things we talked about? We talked about EXP, revenue share. Right. There's a lot of different, we're talking about satellite towers we're talking about. You've got some other income streams, digital products, but you start with bucket A. Start filling it up with something you ideally love or enjoy. Then you start filling up bucket B, which is passive income. And you can do that simultaneously at the same time. And then the quicker you start filling up your passive income bucket at the same time, when you start adding assets in there that are producing income, well, rental properties, owner finance, all those things are also filling up your balance sheet because they're assets. And now your wealth bucket is filling up as well. So you've got income, wealth creation. Then things like if you choose a bucket of being like small business, for example, starting up a construction company like we have, or a lending company, then those are also they're creating active income. The better that you build that business, it becomes passive income. And now it's an asset you own, which is a company, which is also filling up your wealth bucket simultaneously. So you can check all three. Check. So that was the lesson of the 3 buckets. So what was your takeaway from that? Summarize that as a 19-year-old young entrepreneur.
Somebody that's aspiring to get into real estate, I feel like the common misconception is that get rental properties to like get rich. And that is true. It builds wealth over time. But if you're somebody young, you just think, I just need rental properties to get rich. But that's not how it works. You're probably gonna get a rental property and then get hurt because you don't have money to cover stuff that happens, or you don't have money to cover the mortgage when your tenant doesn't pay rent and then you have to evict them and all this other stuff. But it's important to realize that you can make money in real estate other ways. Like you mentioned, EXP rev share. That's a great way that you can start building passive income by just getting agents on your team. And then also you are currently doing for your A bucket, which flipping houses. You can start doing that, and alongside with that, get owner finance deals, rental properties to keep building wealth over time.
And a good example is, so my active income bucket is filled. So now we've got these other things. Like we've got the RV park that we're at now. We've got mobile home parks, all that kind of stuff. And I don't need to live off that money. So it stays in the passive income bucket, can reinvest in itself and other passive investments. And then also it's constantly overflowing into the wealth bucket all at the same time. So that's just something to think about, is don't tell yourself, man, I can't because I'm not in a position. You can. Real estate's very creative. And if the thing too is, if you're working at a job where you're just not happy or just getting by, versus even if you're making a little bit less, doing something that you love or enjoy, you're probably ultimately going to make a lot more. And when I got into real estate, I'll tell people this, it was like, I want to quit my job and have more time. And that was my goal. It wasn't ever like I wanted to get rich. Sure, why not? But I just wanted to I wanted to do something that I enjoyed and provide for my family and have more time. To have more time? No, a lot of times no. A lot of times I had less time because I worked more. But I still felt free because I controlled my own schedule. And I could do still this with y'all rather than being at a job or asking when I can take off or whatever. Like, I can do whatever I want to do. Even though I work long hours most of the time, I still control my hours and my time. And that's what it's all about. And so for you, the reason I said, if I were to go back, I would focus on owner finance notes because it's more consistent, it's more predictable. You avoid a lot of the highs and lows, you avoid a lot of the headaches. And for someone like yourself, someone who's young, single, no wife or kids or any like expenses, then if your passive income meets or exceeds your bills every month, you're rich. You don't have to have $1 million in the bank. If literally it could be $24,000 a year, you could be rich. Yeah. And next year, like, I want to build it up to $50,000. Yeah. You could already be rich.